Grandma, who suffers from dementia, put my baby on a balcony 100 meters high to watch the birds. One moment she was smiling and playing with the child. The next she suddenly had an episode, leaving the baby alone and walking away. My wife and I had just finished cooking in the kitchen when we suddenly realized our baby, who had been on the sofa just a moment ago, was gone. We rushed to my mother, asking if she had taken the child to play, but in her state, she couldn't remember where she had been or what she'd done. We panicked, terrified of what kind of danger our fragile baby might be in. We searched the entire building like crazy. Meanwhile, the baby was seeing birds for the very first time, his little face full of excitement. He stood up slowly on a stool, holding the railing, reaching toward the bird's feet in the air. The stool wobbled dangerously. As the bird flew farther away, my wife grabbed him just in time, preventing a tragedy, and my wife and I were left horrified. My mother was filled with guilt, but because of what happened, I made the painful choice to send my severely demented mother to a nursing home. It broke my heart, but as long as she stayed at home, she could put the baby in danger at any moment. To protect my child, I had no choice. My mother begged me for forgiveness and even dropping to her knees, swearing nothing like this would ever happen again. Well, how could I believe a promise from someone with dementia? So with a heavy heart, I sent her away. That night, maybe out of guilt, I had a terrifying nightmare. I dreamed my mother was locked in a dark room at the nursing home, where a monstrous figure reached for her, tormenting her until she screamed in agony, with no one to help her. I jolted awake in terror. Something felt wrong. I regretted everything. My wife and I had the time and strength to care for her, yet I had pushed her into the unknown. In the middle of the night, I drove to the nursing home, determined to bring her back. But when I arrived, I found no trace of any elderly residents. Every room was spotless, as if no one had ever lived there. The place reeked of rot and carried a chilling atmosphere. I went to my mother's room, but she wasn't there. I opened other rooms, one after another, all empty. Where had all the residents gone this late at night? Then, from the farthest room, I heard laughter and conversation, only to find a group of young men and women drinking and partying in the middle of the night. A nurse walked up to me with hostility, asking what I was doing. I told her I was my mother's son, that I had brought her here today, but I regretted it and wanted to take her home right now. The nurse refused. Instead, she mocked me. She said children like me never understand what the elderly really want. She told me to go home, wait 1 week, and then I would see for myself what my mother truly longed for. I was confused, but one thing was certain. Something sinister was going on in this nursing home. So I snuck inside, trying to track down my mother. Suddenly I heard footsteps. I panicked and ducked into a random room to hide. But the person entered that same room. I had no choice but to crawl into the wardrobe, peeking out through the cracks. The man looked young, but his movements were slow and stiff. Nothing like the energy of youth. He stood before a mirror, stroking his own youthful face, then picked up a glowing black cloak and slipped it on. To my horror, he walked straight toward me. I thought I'd been discovered, but instead, he opened the wardrobe, revealing a hidden passage behind it, and disappeared inside. I suspected the missing residents were hidden there too, so I followed, but the passage was empty, with even more hidden doors leading in different directions. I had no idea where to start looking for my mother. I picked one at random, and inside, a man was strapped to